What's up, DTF fans, folks? I gotta find a word. What's up, guys? Today we are here yellow bass fishing, or going to be yellow bass fishing. Today it's just me and Peter. He's getting dressed at the moment. I was trying to figure out camera stuff. That's why I'm not dressed yet. But yeah, today yellow bass fishing. We're probably gonna catch some crappies. We're still in Minnesota, so you guys know where it is. So, you guys remember last time my auger broke, my cousin broke it. I actually had to go buy a new one. Good thing, Joe Sporting Goods, they had a sale on there, so I got one for a pretty good price. Brand new one, 6-inch, the same model. We like the 6-inch more, just saves a little more battery life. And we don't fish for a lot of fish anyways. So we yeah. Gonna get going here. Peter's just starting up the Livescope. Could be a school of crappies, could be a school of yellows, can be mixed. We'll see. So today what I'm actually going to use is a plain spoon, okay? Using the Rainbow Trout color, it is this spoon. This is the Sliver spoon from Northland. They stopped making it a few years ago. It's a freaking awesome spoon. I love it because it's tungsten. I just switched the hooks out because the old hooks, they bent and broke, but I swapped the spoon out for the hooks out. It's a great little spoon. It's my favorite one for yellow bass. It's a 16-pound version. They don't make it anymore, so I'm just going to keep using it. If I do, then I'll find an alternative. The alternative I do have for this that I like to use is also this one, which is the Clam Pinhead middle. Pinhead. This is an awesome alternative. Works well. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at that yellow. Look at that yellow. Caught it off that Sliver spoon that I was talking about earlier today. There you go. That's nice. Nice one. It's like 9 inches. That's definitely a yellow. They're just gorgeous fish. They're like miniature white bass, but just gold, yellow. It's kind of cool. There you go. There you go. So one little tip that I want to tell you guys is as you're jigging it, your jig's going like this, and eventually when the fish bites, it'll just sit there and you're still jigging it and it's sitting there. That's a fish. Set the hook. That's essentially what we're pretty much doing. Right now we're using the wiggle. I'm on a spoon again, just a little more efficiency and better hookups, I'd assume. I say. Just doing a little wiggle at the tip, just kind of moving the lure consistently, not stopping it though. And once that tip stops, you got a fish. This feels like a good one. Not a bad fish. But never mind. Good one actually. You got a good one? Awesome. There's Peter always losing his fish. Nice yellow bass. There you go. Double. We got another double here. There's the yellow, and that's where you're gonna get most of the time with the hooks. Nice little spoon right there. Hey, you want the camera? That feels more like a crappie. Oh, big yellow. I know, right? It's just because it's prime time now. Well, first time we were out here, there was what, like 100 people? Maybe more? Yeah. Yeah, now, if you guys know the spot, if you know, you know, there's no one out here right now. So we pretty much have the lakes to ourselves. Samson's on again. I don't have fish on me right now, so I'm gonna move. That's why I got out of this hole. Mine are still here. Got one. shaking it pretty hard, and just waiting for that rod tip to stop, as you just saw right there. And once that rod tip stops, you know that's a fish. You just set the hook right away. The trick though is to keep your lure moving. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's a beauty. It's a big one. Good one. Solid big one. Solid fish. The trick is to just keep your lure moving. Just keep shaking your rod tip. You're not shaking it like a foot or something. You're just shaking it like 2-3 inches. And you're just constantly, maybe 4 inches. And that's the whole goal of it. The whole goal is just to keep your lure shaking in place, and you'll move it up and down the water column. And usually what happens is when you drop it back down onto these fish and you pull it back up, those fish, their attention will go right to it again. And so if you're feeling like they're not really looking at it, or you know you're a little too high and they're probably not gonna bite, just drop it straight down, all the way down past them or even to the bottom, and just slowly raise it back up right to them, and they will go right back to it. And you know, you just keep doing that, and once they come up to it, just keep raising it if you have to. Play with it. You know, there's not a certain way to do it, and you just keep doing that, but keep that constant shake to it. That's the trick to this type of bite. It happens pretty often. Usually when the yellows are aggressive, that's how they want it. 60 feet within about 10-15 seconds. Here they're kind of slowly snoozing around and kind of sitting in these holes and showing up to bite our lures. But nothing showing up on my screen. Let's go get some more. So the trick to Livescope is we're kind of have it set up in a base camp around here, and what we're doing is, I don't know if you guys can see, but what we're doing is, you can see there's some fish right there, and we're kind of just set up in the center area, and we're just turning this around. You see that? You see all those fish over there in that 40, 60, 70, and we're turning it, and we're just, once the fish are gone in our hole, we either hole hop or we'll just come over here and try to locate some. So at the moment, that score right there that we see right there, they're all between Peter and where I was just at earlier. So we're gonna keep going around. We're just gonna keep hole hopping. Usually yellows, they'll come up to about the first or the bottom third of the water column. That's usually their limit right there. So if you're in about 15 feet, they'll come up to about 10 feet down. So they'll come up about 5 feet usually. If you're fishing shallow, they'll actually come up pretty high. Oh, there's one right there. Yeah, if you're shallow and like 6-7 feet, like how we fish for them in Clear Lake, they'll come up about a foot under the ice. Oh man, he's wrapped around my transducer. Oh, solid fish though. Look at that. Oh no! Ooh, stabbed myself there. Be careful with yellows. They have very sharp scales and very sharp spines, but they are really good to eat. Just another solid fish. If you're wondering what they're comparable to, they're not as soft or as tender as a crappie, but they are pretty darn near it. Almost similar to like a white bass. Pretty similar to meat. If you guys don't like white bass, sand bass, whatever region part of the country you call it from, I call it white bass up here in Minnesota. I love eating white bass. They have a nice clean white meat on it. They do have some red meat sometimes, but it's not that big of a problem. You can just cut it off. It's really little. But usually these smaller fish, they're really good. These yellow bass are really good, especially that 7 to 10-11 inch zone is where you get really good fillets out of them, just like a regular crappie or a bluegill. Really good fish nuggets. Oh, there's another one. There you go. There's another little one. They make really good fish nuggets for fillets. Other than that, I've also tried just straight up pan frying and just a little bit of oil, and putting a little bit of if you're Hmong, you know, some la mong, so basically some la powder. If you guys watch like Mark Wiens or something, he eats a lot of la down in Thailand. Basically some of that powder in there, you kind of just fry it with a little bit of oil. All you do is fillet the fish, and this is another one. You fillet the fish, you clean it, you put it on a pan, hot pan with just a little bit of oil or butter on the bottom, and you just put the mong or the powder on top of it. Be generous with the amount of powder you put on it, and then you just flip it and just do it till it's cooked. I feel like those are crappies. I don't want to deal with that. I want some yellow bass. There you go. I actually felt that fish. I want to talk a little about the equipment. I already talked about it before. I'm using a 32-inch power noodle from Bass King. Got some merch here for y'all to see. Oh my goodness, I missed one. Oh, he's coming up again. But I have a 32-inch power noodle. The reason I'm using a power noodle is because it just gives me a little more versatility in terms of being able to see the fish when they bite. And it's fairly sensitive. It's not the most sensitive rod, but that's because it's a glass rod. But it's actually pretty darn sensitive, in my opinion, for a glass rod. I can feel these fish hit pretty hard sometimes. There's one right there. Yep. You guys can see, just like what I said, that glass rod or that noodle tip. I actually felt that fish hit, and I saw my rod tip stop. So that's kind of the benefit of having this 32-inch Bass King Power Pro or Power Noodle rod. Sorry, I'm thinking of a boat right now. But that's kind of the cool thing about this. Like, again, because of this, this rod is blending in with the snow here, because my peripheral vision is showing snow over here. Over here where the blink is, it's snow, it's white, it kind of blends in, and I'm kind of zoning it out, but I am focusing on the pink tip here. My pink tip is on my screen right now, and it is helping out a lot because it's actually contrasting the black screen that I have on here. So like I said, the white rod just makes it that much easier for me to focus on my rod tip, especially when I have a noodle tip rod like this, where it's really important because I'm actually watching for the tip to go down and not just waiting to feel fish. Another great thing about having this rod is when it's really cold out and you can't just feel every single hit and your hands are frozen, it's nice to be able to just see when your rod tip goes down. But today's really warm, we don't even need it. Oh, can't feel this tip. So if you use like a panfish type of rod, that's more of a sensitive type of rod, that works just fine. You can actually catch a lot of fish doing that because you'll be able to feel these fish hit. I just like this because I can be it's very visual for me. I can just watch that, and I can actually feel it sometimes. So for me, the noodle just gives me that extra edge, but you don't need it. But a sensitive rod will be just fine for this. If you're wondering what kind of sensitive rod can I get for it, if you want to know, Bass King, he's got the panfish carbon and the perch rod. The perch rod is a little bit more stiffer. It's a little bit has a little bit more backbone on it. It's great for the lighter jigging wraps. It's what I was using for Tulibi's on the last video. While the panfish is a little bit of a lighter rod. It's great for those 32-ounce and 16-ounce lures. Bass King has those options. Go check them out for that. For if you want a sensitive, more of a feely type of rod, more of a normal rod than what most people are used to, that's the way to go. I like my noodle rod. I've always fished this for yellow bass down in Iowa and here in Minnesota, and it works fine. Works great. I like to be very visual, and my hands get cold pretty quick, so I can just see everything. I don't need to feel all the time. And I actually feel, the cool thing is actually I can feel the fish bite right here in my hand, and I actually have a glove on. As soon as I moved it back up, it drew their attention right back in, and hopefully I can get them to bite here. I got one on me, and he's kind of going up for it, but look at that. Got him. Damn. Solid little guy. I don't know if I mentioned it, but these fish are invasive to this chain of lakes here in Minnesota. So there is no limit on these fish. They're not even supposed to be here anyway, but there's exploding population. So keeping these fish and taking them out is actually a good thing, because you're actually gonna help a lot of the walleye and crappie population to keep growing, and the bluegill population. Oh, look at that. Because these fish do compete with, oh, it's a good one. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's a solid fish. It's a nice 9, 8.5 to 9. But yeah, like I said, these fish are invasive here. The DNR wants them out of here. They kind of just kept them, but they kind of just left them here and just say whatever. They make great table fare, good to catch, but they're not even supposed to be here. So you know what? Catch your limit, take them out here, allow the crappie population, bluegill population, perch, and whatever other small fish to be able to grow, panfish. That's ultimately what we're here for, anyways. But we're here for these yellow bass because they're a lot of fun to catch. Because you can catch so many of them. Way more fun than crappies. I prefer yellow bass over crappies. Crappies are just my, whenever I'm bored, I'm gonna go catch them. Oh, look at that. Another one. Oh, yes. Solid fish. Oh, look at that. As I was dropping, one just came out of nowhere. He's coming up for it. Oh my gosh, look at that. He bit it right away. I wish I had the camera to show you guys what's going on down on the sonar, but technical difficulties. Yeah. I was about to leave and one comes in and he's coming back up. Oh, look at that. Ooh, he likes to fight. Not even that big too. Oh, there you go. Come over here. Oh man, look at that. I got one. Peter's got one. He just doubled up. Alright, DTF folks. We're gonna cut the video here. We caught so much fish. We didn't catch that much.
Yeah.
Compared to what we usually catch. We caught a good amount today. Just yellow bass fishing. Sun's going low. We're gonna try to see how much more we can get before the night falls. We might be fishing to the dark a little bit, but we're gonna cut the video here. And Peter, you want to say anything?
Always be down to fish.
He sucks at it, just like Mo. Oh well. See you guys next time, DTF folks. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, please. Oh, and check out Khang custom rods.